Okay, so we are in our second to last Google Hangout class for now, for the time being, I should say. So today we're going to be talking about how to accept a job offer via email. And then I thought, well, if you can do it via email, maybe I should talk about how to do it in a letter. Granted, that's more formal, but it's still nice to know. And if I'm telling you how to accept a job, maybe I should tell you how to decline a job. Okay, so we're looking at more than just accepting a job via email today. All right, so I do have a PDF. So I'll get to that in just a second. So Rocky, nice to have you here, and Ken as well.
Thank you.
Showcase. Is that what I wanted to do? That is what I wanted to do. Okay, so just a second. Okay, so like I said, basically it's just deciding to accept or decline a job offer. Okay, so we have a couple different things to look at today. And so I'll just go through the first things. You two can read today, that's perfectly fine. So basically, how do you know when you should accept a job? Okay, maybe you're deciding, it's a great job, it's a great opportunity. Maybe it's not what you're looking for at the moment. And so here are some ways that can help you decide, okay? So it says, one of these two reasons is a good reason to accept the job, okay? It says you received an initial offer that met all of your needs, okay, with a company and in a role that meets the criteria you planned out in your ideal job description. So basically, this is your dream job, okay? Maybe a good company where you want to work doing exactly what you think you want to do. Okay, so that's a perfect reason to say, hey, yeah, I do want that job. Okay, and the second would be that you've effectively, negotiated all of the terms that you want. So maybe they had come up with some terms that you wanted to change a little. Okay, so if they accept that, then absolutely go ahead and say yes to that job. Okay, so again, you're basically looking for your dream job with a company that's a good company. All right. Now, if you're thinking about declining, okay, it's one of these three options it says, okay? So the first one says, you received an offer after learning during the interview process that the organization was not the right place for you. Okay, so maybe the job sounds perfect, but after investigating into the company a little bit, you kind of find out some other things that maybe you don't like. Maybe the insurance isn't correct for you. Maybe the hours. There's something that you don't like. And so that's what they're talking about in this part, okay? In the next one, it says you received an offer that had too many aspects that didn't meet your ideal job description. Okay, so too many exceptions in this case. Too many things to say, well, I can deal with that for a while, but maybe it's not my ideal job. Okay? And then the last one, it says you attempted to negotiate for the terms you needed from the offer, and you weren't successful. Okay? And the organization was not open to negotiations. All right? So again, this could be many different things. And you just say, you know what? This isn't what I want. Okay? So here's how to kind of start. You start with these options, should I accept? Does it meet this criteria here? Or should I decline? And maybe this is, one of your reasons, okay? All right, so any questions from you two? Anything here that you'd like to talk about? Could be, any vocabulary or anything like that. So Rocky or Ken, any questions?
No,
Doesn't?
thank you.
Okay.
No.
All right. Great. So let me get back to this now. There it is. Perfect. So moving down. Okay. So, Ken, why don't I have you read, okay, everything you see on the page here. As long as there's just two of you, you can read a little bit more, okay? So, go ahead on how to accept an offer.
Okay. First, you should call your main contact in the company to tell them you have accepted your offer, and they can expect it in the mail or via email. When you speak to them, say something like the following: Hi, name. This is your name, and I'm calling for formally accept my offer to join organization name. I have signed, mailed, emailed my offer letter, and you can expect to receive it within the week. Is there anything else I need to do help you move the process along at this point?
Okay, great. Sorry, my internet apparently is delayed. I don't think my internet likes Google Hangouts, to tell you the truth. I probably shouldn't have said that I am recording. Um, it just goes slower when I'm using it. So, very good. So, yeah, this is something that you would typically say, all right? Um, you just, yeah.
Sorry, I think it's a call. Call.
Yep, this is the first
Okay,
kind of little phone call that you make.
okay.
Yeah, but it's kind of the first step. I mean, phone calls are more direct. Letters and emails sometimes take a while to get there, and or maybe they don't see their email. Technology, sometimes doesn't work. And so this is kind of one of those things, if you're really this is for a professional job. This is for something that, is really important and, make probably a really good company. And so to be more formal, just give them we call it a heads up. You just kind of, a forewarning and just say, hey, you know what, I'm going to accept this job. Um, you know, and as it says here, you can expect it in the mail or via email. All right. So you're
I
just,
see.
you know, basically telling them, yes, I'm accepting, but you have to wait until you actually
Mm,
get the official acceptance letter.
like a backup letter or something. We need to confirm.
Mhm.
Okay.
Right, and you should always document things. You should always have everything documented just in case, something
Mm,
happens.
right.
For example, maybe you're, leaving one job that isn't a terrible job, but this is a better offer. You go and, you quit your other job, they find someone else to take your place, and then you move to the new job, and turns out that the business closes. Okay, for example. Well, in that case, I think you can take legal actions and, try and either get your old job back or maybe get a settlement or something from the new company that closed down. So you do have to be careful.
Mm, okay. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. All right, Rocky, any questions from you?
No, no, no.
So moving on. All right, let me just double check to see. Okay, good. So Rocky, it's a bit shorter, but that's okay. You make sure to read something else. Why don't you go ahead and read this on how to decline an offer? Rocky?
Yeah, sorry.
Do you want to read how to decline an offer?
Okay. How to decline offer. While accepting an offer will be a great feeling, decline an offer can be a bit less fun. Here are two ways that you can handle declining an offer. When the job, organization, industry, sorry, culture or other aspect is simply not good fit for you. When you have decided to take a competing offer that simply beat out the one
you have chosen to decline. Sorry.
Okay, good. So, again, these are two ways that we can decline nicely. Rocky, can you go ahead and mute yourself? There you go, thanks. Otherwise, I hear myself again. Okay, so again, if it's just not a good fit, if you decide, what, there's too many things that I don't like, or too many things that I have to compromise here that you're not interested in, it's okay. It's your life. It's your job. To find something that you really want to do and that really fits. If it's going to be a temporary job and maybe it's going to be a year or something like that, fine, fantastic. Deal with those situations that you don't like. However, if you think it could be long term, make sure that you're comfortable with the job. That's very important. I think it's important for you as the employee, and then also for the employer as well, the business. They want good employees that are, 100% behind their product or behind their service, and you need to be able to do your best. All right, so that goes a little bit for everything here. Oh, wow. Well, we get two people right away. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, hi, I'm Christina. Nice to
I know. I get
see you
your
again.
last name.
I don't
Yeah,
know
you
how to
too.
use Google Hangouts.
That's okay. I didn't either. So you're fine. You can just hang there, and that's fine. Very good. And it looks like Sebastian is also here too. I think I remember your name as well. So very good. Perfect. Well, welcome to class today. Then we're talking about how to basically find a great job and accept or decline, okay, the offer for the job at this point. And we will get to a point where I think actually if I move down just a little bit, okay, so this is just a little bit more in depth about how to decline if it's not a good fit with the company and how to do that, okay? So actually, Christina, why don't you go ahead and read this, all right, as long as you're still unmuted, which you're not, but that's okay. So go ahead and read everything on the page, okay?
Okay. Declining because it's not a good fit. Writing an acceptance letter email is a good idea for anyone who is looking for a job and who has decided to take the job offer. It reinforces your professional approach. It also gives you the chance to document a few key things about your new job: your title, supervisor, salary, and benefits. As an idea, keep the acceptance letter upbeat, happy, professional, and brief. Short.
Okay, very good. So, again, if it's not a good fit for you, don't take the job. Don't just take it because you think it will be fine, all right? You have to make sure that it's a good fit for you and for your lifestyle as well. If you're going to be stressed, it's not good, again, for you or the company, okay? And so now we're going to look at, a letter uh, about this and how to kind of decline. Well, we're going to look at the acceptance one first. So, any questions here? All right, so this is basically just an idea here. So upbeat again, just means happy, so it's happy and it's not very sad. Professional, and then brief means short, okay? So that's why I put those in there. So any other questions about words or any vocabulary here?
So the maybe the title, supervisor, salary, and benefits. Maybe we need to use these things to decline the offer.
I'm sorry?
Uh, Maybe this slide is for decline the offer, right?
Actually,
Not
yeah, no, I was just reading this, and this, I think that title was supposed to be there, so
this
maybe we'll
title
just,
salary.
right.
It's not.
So this is talking about the acceptance letter. Sorry about that. Yeah, this is my typos, my mistakes, human errors. I think there's a mistake in every class actually. So, but that's fine. All right. So again, so these are positive things. All right.
Okay, not decline.
After. Right. Now this is the acceptance. So this was my fault. I had copied and pasted to kind of reorder what I wanted in the order that I wanted to do it in. So I'm sure that's just the problem. That's my copy and paste mistake. So that's why this part is, the next part we're going to see the acceptance one. Okay? And then that continues there. So that's fine. Sorry. Okay. So I'm going to start out just by reading the first part here because it's on separate pages. All right. So in order to accept, all right, so this is a combination of letter and email. Now, with the letter, you will write all of this information. Okay, the date, the person's full name, the title, the employer name or the business, and then the address, okay, and the city, and then it depends where you live and how you write your addresses, but this is basically how it would be in the United States, okay? So this part, again, is just for the letter, but the body of this is basically going to be the same. So let me try and just put all of this on the same page here. Okay. So good. So this is basically all of it. Then we can see the sincerely here at the bottom. So that's going to be the end. Sebastian, you have not read. Would you like to read?
Hi.
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 Would you like to read this? Now this is a letter / email. You can write both of these, okay? It's just the
Sorry.
first part with the date and everything for the letter because in the email it comes with it. So, yep, you can go ahead and read everything on the page, okay?
Okay, sorry. I'm not speak very well.
Okay, do you want to read or would you like to not read?
Okay. It's with great pleasure that I accept your offer to join. Employee name as a position little under supervisor name. The goal you outlined for the position are well matched to my abilities, and I consider it a privilege to join your team. As we discussed, my annual salary will be salary, and medical benefits will come after 30 days of employment. Mrs. Last name, thank you for making the interview process enjoyable. I look forward to working with you and the employee name team. I will report to work on dates. In the meantime, feel free to call me 8.
Okay, good. And actually, just this number here we actually use in the United States. It's the only phone number that they use in films because all the other ones are used. Okay, so this is the fake number in the United States. All right, and then you have to sincerely and your name. Again, you would write both of these in an email and letter. Okay, so this is pretty formal, as it says here. So now I'd like to open this up. Any questions from anyone? Anything that you don't understand? Any structures?
The vocabulary will report work on. What does that mean?
What is this report here or somewhere else?
This is report to work on.
Report.
I will
Uh-huh.
report to work on. What
Yeah,
does that
so
mean?
basically I will show up to work on, I will go to work.
I
Um,
see.
yeah, report has kind of like this duty, little idea with it. So I will go to work, I will arrive to work on, I will begin.
Okay, I got it.
Okay. Good question. Anything else? Any other questions here? All right. Sounds good. So again, this is formal. So you might not have to write things exactly like this, but this is a nice way to do it. So now moving on, this is to decline, and again, this is the email and the letter. Sorry. Okay, good. All right, so the letter part, again, is this exact same. Okay, you would do the exact same thing in a decline letter to somebody. Again, in an email, you would not put this. All right. So let's see here. Rocky, you actually probably read the least out of everyone. Would you like to read the decline letter?
Okay.
Perfect.
This one, dear
Mm-hmm.
Mr. This name, would like to express my appreciation for including me in the interview process for the name of position. I enjoyed meeting with you and learning more about your company. However, I have accepted another employment offer and respectfully withdraw from consideration for your position. I wish you and your company success and thank you again for your time and effort. Sincerely.
Okay, fantastic. So very good. So this actually is the last part of the class that I have, which is fine. We might be able to do some role plays today since we have so many people today. This is very good. Okay, good. So first, let's talk about this letter. So if you're declining, an offer to a job, this is something that you should say, thank you very much. However, okay, and you can tell them that you've accepted a different job offer, okay, another employment offer as it says here, or just say for personal reasons, I've chosen to withdraw, okay, my application, that kind of thing. All right. So any questions about the vocabulary, grammar, anything in this letter that we've seen?
Maybe we don't need to so much detail about the reason why we decline. Just
Right.
say politely say so. Okay.
I mean, it could be a health problem that all of a sudden came up. Maybe you had a car accident and, you will need to be in the hospital for months. You can say personal problem or personal issue. And so,
I see.
oh, Lucy, okay. Sorry, Ken. I was reading what Lucy was saying. I was like, what's going on? Okay, yeah. So, again, you don't need to say the reason why exactly if you don't want to, and maybe you can lie. I mean, just if it's not a good job for you, but they really want you to work there, just say, I'm so sorry, I've been accepted by a different company that maybe has, I don't know. You just say accept a different job. You should be fine. It's really none of their business on why you're not going to work for them. Okay, but it is always very good to let them know. Okay, so they're not just kind of sitting there wondering, or expecting that you're going to be working for them and things like that. So you do want to be respectful of their time as well. Okay. All right, so any other questions about this? No, doesn't look like it. All right, well, let me this is the end of the page here. So again, just sincerely and then your name is perfectly fine. Okay. Well, what I think I'll do is I'll stop screen share, and we might be able to have some fun today for the last 15 minutes here. Since there's so many people, I'm not sure. Maybe a role play is too much. We can do a conversation if that works for everybody. You know, about working, or maybe funny situations that we've had at work, or, you know, the best and worst things about our jobs and things like that. Does that sound okay? And just so that everybody knows, Thomas was here earlier. He's looking into a new system. He's not really sure what's going to happen, or when it's going to happen, I should say. I think that's it. I have one more class on Saturday, I think it is, if I'm correct, about the passive. And so that's the last class that I know of so far. So hopefully Saturday I can let you know some more. I think I'm going to have a meeting with Thomas tomorrow, so we can talk more about that. Besides that, I will be looking for some suggestions for classes, as I've been, you know, working with Thomas for a year and 2 months, more or less, 3 months almost. So anything that you're interested in doing, I think I'll still be doing some more business-related classes, but things will be changing in a little bit. However, just continue to use the Intenga website, and Thomas should be sending an email once we understand what's going on. Okay? So I suppose if there's any questions about that, go ahead and ask first. But I think it would be great to have a conversation class since we have so many people here, so that's great. So any questions about Intenga in general that I can answer?
How was your birthday?
My birthday was fine, Rocky, thank you. It was good. It was relaxing. I think that's all I'm going to say. The age isn't my favorite, but still need to have birthdays, so. Good, Christina. Good. And Lucia, don't worry, that's fine. Thomas did ask about you. He's like, oh, where's Lucia? I'm wondering where she is. And, oh, I don't know. So don't worry about that.
Hello, Becky.
Hi.
How are you? I'm glad to see you.
Glad to see you too. I'm doing well. I was sick about a week ago, and I'm still suffering a little bit. It's the hottest day of the year. Well, at least yesterday was, and today's very similar. So it's really hot these days. So.
Yes, because we started a new season at the gym, so people are crazy about that, about discount we do. So it's really the busiest of the year.
Okay. Well, it's okay too. Don't worry. Again, all of these are on the Intenga website, so you can watch the videos if you want to about anything.
Yeah,
So
of
don't
course.
worry about that. Good. And Lucia, did you see Rocky's here?
Yes.
Isn't that exciting? Rocky's been missing for a while.
Come back. Come back.
Yeah,
Rocky, how are you?
yeah, hi. Yeah, I guess I'm okay.
I'm sure you're okay.
Yeah. And how about you? What have you been doing?
Yeah, like I said before, it's a crazy days, but fine. It's fine.
Great.
All right, good. So Lucia is mentioning work there, and which is fantastic. So, do you want to talk about anything about work? I mean, we can still talk about, you know, the kind of situation of jobs and things like that if you want. Anything? Any experiences?
No, in this moment, no.
Not exactly.
I'm just relaxed with you.
Okay, good, that's fine. All right. right. Anyone else? I mean, does anyone have any questions about accepting or declining a job? Is everything pretty clear? Basically, you should just be formal and be nice because you never know, maybe a year down the road, there's a different job opening in the same company, and you think, oh, well, I wasn't very nice before, and now if they see my name again. So just make sure that you're really nice to everybody.
Maybe I don't know what is the nice or polite expression on this situation in English, like we work on we report work on or such kind of thing. Maybe if I can learn such phrase, it will be helpful.
Okay, so you're kind of looking for
Sometimes,
more
yeah,
formal English.
business English is a bit different from ordinary English. So,
You know, and I was talking to Thomas, and he basically said too that there's no like official business English. It's just kind of the English that we use in the business world. Do you see what I mean? And because when I first started these classes too, I was thinking, well, what the heck am I going to do with business English? You know, I've never done a course in business English. I'm a teacher, so I don't know anything about formal businesses and big businesses. So, but he basically said that there's no official business English, but more formal English is probably acceptable, is probably the best thing for that. So, I know what I want to say. I'll do more formal. Okay. And again, we will be continuing classes. It might take a couple weeks to actually get things up and running. Maybe we'll continue on Hangouts for a while. I'm not really sure yet. I really should know by Saturday. I hopefully will know by tomorrow. And again, Thomas will let everybody else know. So now I'm taking suggestions again, just because, you know, it's been a year plus of making up these classes, and if it was hard before, it's even more difficult now. So suggestions are good. Basically, Ken, what you said, you know, we can take kind of everyday sentences and make them more formal. You know, what is more formal language in English?
maybe
Okay.
as a non-native speaker itself, because if we write, kind of strange
Okay.
and polite English, it would be different. So maybe being polite,
Mm-hmm.
Actually,
polite
I
expression,
think
yeah, that's better. Yeah. Thank you.
like I just wanna say something.
Idioms? Go ahead, Rocky.
Yeah, I guess if you're using like modal verbs, so you can make your sentence more formal and more polite. So
Okay.
like there is one like, and don't use phrasal verbs, too much phrasal verbs. Try to make it simpler. You can take some kind of academic like words, like formal words. Uh, so there's some ideas like I read in a formal
Okay.
way if you want to talk to people. And
All right.
my thing is like that, like don't be rude, like just be polite. Like with like it doesn't matter what kind of word you are using, but like you have to keep in your mind. You need to be very very polite. Like
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree.
yeah.
I have a question
Mm-hmm.
if nobody else wants to ask anything. For example, during an interview, maybe I should put on my headset. Sorry.
It's okay. I can hear you perfectly fine.
During an interview, is it okay to ask about fringe benefits or health insurance or overtime? I
You know,
mean,
if you're really, really considering the job, absolutely. If it's basically, you know, after this interview you need to decide, then absolutely. And just like I was telling Lucia earlier, and Rocky, I told you the last time we had class, on the Entango website, there's all of the classes that I've done on the Hangouts, okay? And so I've done an interview kind of class, if not two. So make sure you watch it, okay? And it does answer some of those questions. Absolutely. If you're really, really considering the job, you really need to know everything about it. So yes, you should ask. Ask everything. And I like when you ask questions too during an interview because it means that you're interested. But you should ask them at the end. And so I think in that class I had mentioned, write down some of these questions that you have before you go in because I've been in interviews and then completely forgotten what I wanted to ask. Okay. Write them down, and then when you're in the interview, maybe have them out. And every time a question is answered, maybe write it down, okay, so you don't forget later. Or, just be very open and honest with them, absolutely.
I see. Yeah, in Romania, in some situations, that would be considered impolite or, I don't know, too bold. You have too much guts to ask such a thing or something like that.
All right, well, I suppose I can understand that, but like I said, if you're really considering the job, you really should know everything about it. You know, the benefits, the drawbacks, the good and bad things about the job.
Thank you very much. And
Not a problem, but always at the end of the interview.
okay.
Yeah, I guess you can ask few questions in the end of the interview, like because HR is going to ask you, do you have any question for me? And you can ask about like company future plans, like uh, and a part of that you can ask about like some kind of help and suggestion. Like if I'm not going to uh, like recruit, like if I'm not going to select in this interview, so do you have any like tips for me, like this kind of things? So you can ask, and I guess it's not a bad idea.
Thanks, Rocky. So everybody who's seeing the picture of a young boy that's my son, so don't worry. I'm using his account because I don't have a Google account.
That's fine. I wouldn't worry about that. I think that happened to Lucia the first day too, and I had no idea who it was. So
Okay.
that's fine. Good. All right. Any other further questions before we finish for today? Okay. I'm going to give out, actually, I'm going to stop the broadcast and then I'll send you're welcome, my teacher email. Okay, so if you do have suggestions, you don't have to wait until we have class. You can just go ahead and email me and say, hey, you know what? I think this would be an interesting class. Give me a couple, maybe examples to help me out there. So I'm going to sign out of the broadcast. So goodbye, everyone who's watching or who will watch.